Devon, co-founder of the Positive Living Skills Initiative. We've got people joining us. We've also got on our little panel here, we've got Kath Shaw, the founder. We've got Hayley Chant, who's our early childhood specialist, and we've got the beautiful Evie, who's helping with everything. She's the everything person. So hopefully we've got a lot of people joining us, and as we let more people in it, or let them admit people to the session, I'll get started and get into it. We've got 45 minutes together. Thank you for attending tonight. We know how busy life is, and we're grateful that you're joining us tonight for this info session. So we've got existing members of early learning services who already have the Positive Living Skills program being implemented in their service. We've also got services who are yet to join the Positive Living Skills Initiative as well. So welcome to you all. And you can choose to have your camera on. We would like to see you. If you'd like to have your camera on, we have ours on. So we welcome you to do that. And as we move through tonight, we will be having a Q&A session. And what we can do is also bring you off mute. You can ask your question live, although you should have a chat box there as well. So if you can hear me and see me okay and see us, I'd love you to put a hi or a hello in the chat. Potentially you could tell us where you're from, we'll get started. So that's good. Okay, and we respect your right to have your camera off if you wish to.
And cooking dinner for the kids.
And if you're cooking dinner for the kids. So perfectly understandable. But if you'd like to have your camera on, we'd love to see your face. I hope you've got a glass of water or a cup of tea. I have had a little bit of a cough this week, so you're probably glad that I'm talking to you via Zoom. So welcome everyone. So tonight we're going to have a bit of a chat. I'm going to give you a brief background on Positive Living Skills and who we are and how we came to be. Mainly I want to show you the platform and give you a tour through. So we're going to talk about the program overview and benefits. We're going to talk about current funding opportunities that are available, and then there'll be dedicated Q&A. So I'll be looking to keep on time, and I'll have my minders here to let me know if I'm straying from that. So hi Gina from Gilgandra. Hi Papilio Pitttown. Hi, and look, Hales is responding to some of you as well.
Your names are familiar.
Yeah, that's good. So we've got some familiar names. Some people have joined us recently, some services who have joined recently. So yeah, thanks for jumping on and thanks for saying hello. So if for some reason we don't get to your question tonight, please send it to us via email at team@positivelivingskills.com.au and we will respond ASAP to you. And just before we sort of get into it, a big acknowledgement to all the educators who are joining us tonight. We acknowledge the vital work that you do in our communities, and you have a big responsibility educating our children in so many aspects of life. And it's such important work, and we take our hats off to you, and we're sincerely acknowledging how challenging sometimes your role can be. And before we move through this as well, I just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. So someone's eating, so their camera's off. That's okay, Kay. And milestones, Tarneet. I might not have said that right. I'm sorry if I haven't. So thanks everyone for joining us. So as we get started and we introduce ourselves a little bit about Positive Living Skills, I just want to hear from some of you tonight in the chat, if you could, share with us what you love most about being in education and why you chose this field of work and career to get into. Why did you decide to become an educator or a director or room leader and early childhood teacher, we'd really love to hear from some of you. So it would be really helpful for us to know what drove you, or what drives you, or what's your passion around this work. And to just introduce us, Positive Living Skills was founded by Kath Shaw and her own lived experience with anxiety and depression, and her driving need to support herself and her family. So I know you waved before, Kath, but we've had a few people join us now. So if you want to say hello or wave. Kath and I met in 2013. I'm co-founder of Positive Living Skills. I was on my own learning journey about how my mind works. I had my own, I guess, mental wellness challenges and mindset challenges. I guess my realization came when I realized I wouldn't have children of my own. And after a long career in corporate sector, I really had a yearning to learn more and find more meaning in my life. And I studied counselling and coaching and neuro-linguistic programming, which I can't even say tonight. And I spent 12 months volunteering as a Lifeline telephone counsellor also. And that was a really life-changing experience. And I really learned a lot through that. And it really just changed my perspective on mental health issues and suicide and depression. Hayley's here. Hayley's our early childhood teacher and expert in the field. So Hayley's got a long background in the sector, and she looks after all of our early learning member services. So shout out hi.
Hi everyone, how you going? Thank you so much for joining us.
And she would have spoken to many of you if you've recently joined us. Hi Melissa. Melissa's an area manager with Affinity Education. We've recently partnered with Affinity Education nationally, so we're welcoming many Affinity services to the Positive Living Skills Initiative, and we're very grateful that you're here, and we're looking forward to working with you. We've also got, there's Christina, who looks after our primary school members. She's not with us tonight. She's a really important part of our team. Evie's a very important part of our team. Wave hello, Evie. And we're also surrounded and supported by a greater team of psychologists. We've worked with a lot of teachers and early learning educators over the years that we've been developing and researching these programs. Speaking of research, we've got research partners, we've got mentors, business support, and IT experts who support us. So we're really surrounded by and supported by a passionate team, and we really are all passionate about supporting young people to reach their potential, to reach adulthood with passion and a joy for life that they want to contribute to society. We're very passionate about supporting educators achieve the vision that they have for themselves. Seeing kids develop and being part of that experience is a mission that a lot of educators have when they, reach and choose this vocation. And so we want those educators to achieve that goal and that vision. We want the young children that you serve to enter their high school years with a strong sense of self and habits for how to support themselves. And we want educators to build their sense of confidence and capability and resilience as well. So collectively, we're supporting a growing number. We've experienced quite some growth over recent times with some partnerships and funding opportunities we've had the benefit of being involved in. And we're growing to more than 450 educational sites and growing across Australia. And that's growing even today. So we're evidence-based programs, the Positive Living Skills primary school program and early childhood program. So we've got two offerings, and they're both evidence-based. We've had a research partnership in place with Charles Sturt University and Macquarie Uni. You can visit our research page if you want to look at the research reports and evaluations. We're reviewed and listed on Beyond Blue's BU directory. We've also been We're part of the New South Wales Department of Education Student Wellbeing External Programs catalogues in the themes of resilience, behaviour and sense of belonging. We've been vetted by the South Australia Department for Education External Program Wellbeing Directory as well. So we're available on their directory for South Australia. And we're also showcased by the New South Wales Mental Health Commission in their Living Well domain for getting in earlier. So we're proud to be associated and to have been, I guess, endorsed or accredited by these bodies, and it's an important part of our work. So on the flip side, from what might be a driver or a reason why you have moved into the field of education, what would you say are some of your biggest challenges that you face in your role? And you might be a leader or a room leader or an educator. You might be an early intervention specialist. You might be a family daycare provider. What would you say are your biggest challenges? I'd love to hear from some of you around that as well. So pop something into the chat. So the Positive Living Skills Early Years Learning Framework Wellbeing platform has a variety of features, many of which include, but are not limited to, there's 48 learning experiences and an introductory learning experience that are all pre-planned. There's story time stories. We've got an activities guide that is helping educators find the material in the platform and program. We've got a media library that you can search and filter as well. We've got 0 to 3 activities for 0 to 3 years old. We've got school readiness and transition section of the platform. We've also got family resources and editable learning stories. So I'm going to tour you through some of those things now. Yes, so supporting the wellbeing and emotional intelligence of younger educators. That's really a vision and a reason why you're in the business, Nick. And on the flip side, behaviour management, working in a team with team members who have different approaches to teaching and educators, that can be really challenging.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And just keep popping your either your positive vision of what you're wanting to do in education or potentially your challenges as well into the chat. We've also got Possible as part of the platform, which you're going to learn more about tonight. Professional development for educators, the PLS family link, which I'll tell a little bit more, and a lot more. So that's just part of, and we do have a welcome pack, which I'm going to explore shortly, and we provide support as well. So we're supporting, or the program is supporting early learning services to meet the early years learning framework, to support school readiness and transition, to improve the Australian Early Development Census stats in the areas of social maturity, emotional maturity and communication, and to meet and exceed the national quality standards, as well as building educator capacity, enhancing family partnerships, and teaching children the essential preventative mental health skills. And I just want to mention that we're recording this session tonight. So anybody who's joining who might have missed a little bit at the beginning, or maybe intended to join us but can't make it tonight, we'll be able to share this recording with you after tonight as well. Ainsley's saying promoting the importance of the early years is a driving factor, supporting children's social, emotional development and supporting children with additional needs and their families. Absolutely. And Carmen saying supporting the children's emotional self-regulation, self-regulating in the moment. Absolutely. Thanks for sharing those. We recently conducted a trial last year, and we had, when we originally launched the platform and we had a beta testing group, and 100% of those directors confirmed that the PLS program supports their service with meeting the NQS and their quality improvement plans and supporting educator confidence and capacity. And 91% said that it helps strengthen family relationships and supports learning and development goals for the children and meeting the outcomes of the EYLF. This is just a summary. You'll see this document once you've got access to the platform, or if you already have. This is part of a download you can print, and helps you potentially to look at your quality improvement plans and shows you how the program meets the quality areas of the National Quality Framework. So the program is supporting behavioural goals, which is some of what has already been shared tonight, supporting peer support and enhanced inclusion approaches. We've got some enhancement to the program recently through a partnership with Keyword Sign. I'll show you those flashcards shortly. We've got dedicated professional development for educators focused on educator wellbeing on topics such as self-leadership, building positive focus, and stress management and self-care. So they're 90-minute sessions that you have available to you. The program's also boosting morale and embedding positive, easy to understand and empowering language patterns in both educators and children. Possible's a powerful mascot, and I want to just go through with you what's in the welcome pack. So this is what, I don't know if you can see me in the corner there, but this is what a welcome pack looks like. And in there you have a Possible puppet. Now he's a very, very important character. So he helps support you as he's also helping to support families to embed the positive living skills concepts within your children. So he's helping children go to bed, give up their dummies, eat new foods, try new things, build persistence and practice growth mindset, personal best, appreciation, health and nutrition, activity, all sorts of things. So he's a pretty cool, so he whispers in your ear and you pass on his messages, and there's a lot of information in the platform about him and how you can incorporate him in your approach. So there's also some welcome information in the pack. It's got some some flyers that you can share with families. There's also some posters, so that your service can put up a poster in your welcome area, just showing that you're implementing a positive and preventative mental health program in your service and what it's all about. There's also a keyword sign poster in here, and that gets you started with the Positive Living Skills program. We've also got the keyword sign flashcards. So these help you introduce the concepts. You can have these with you all the time if you want to, and they just give you reminders on what the concepts are, the PLS concepts, highlights feelings, focus, relaxation, cooperation and self-esteem, reminds you about Possible and changing channels, which is a key concept in the program, and it converts those into line drawings that you can demonstrate as you introduce keyword signs to the children. And then there's the happy highlight clickers. So there's a number of these in the pack, and these help you teach children about happy highlights, which is all about building positive neural pathways in our brains. And there's a bunch of happy highlight activities in the program. So I just
Jo,
wanted
I like to just touch.
Yes, please.
I like to always just touch on the happy highlight clickers, because I find that's the biggest question that I get to services who are just coming on, or are looking through the program online, and they're like, what's the purpose of the happy highlight clicker? So as Jo was saying, it's to find any joy or highlight in any point of your day. Like, we can all have some really challenging days, but there's always a way that you can find something that has helped you bring joy. Services like to use those highlight clickers either in the morning or the afternoon in a group environment, where they have a group activity, and each child will go around and click and say what was one thing that they felt joy about that day or the night before. So that's just one simple way that you can utilize the highlight clickers in your service.
Yeah, thanks, Hale. And it's about things you're looking forward to, things you remembered about last week, things you want to count up, and they love to count. It's very tactile, that highlight clicker. So I just want to play you, and this is lovely Hayley and her beautiful daughter Charlotte, just giving an idea of some of the power of Possible in action.
Hey Shah.
Yeah.
Possible said, what is that, Possible? He said the dummy's for bedtime. He wants to see you go and put the dummy back in the cot. Show Possible how you put it in the cot. Oh my goodness. Oh, what? Can you give Possible a high five?
High five.
Or a cuddle?
Cuddle.
It's so cute.
Well done, Charlotte. He's so proud of you.
Oh, that's just gorgeous. And so it just tells you how early you can get started with Possible and how powerful and impactful he can be. When Hayley's daughter Chloe, who's now 7, was really Charlotte's age, wasn't she? And we didn't even have to puff it at that stage. She was giving Possible a high five on the wall with the Possible poster, which is part of the pack, and she had it at child height. And Chloe would, every time she had a mouthful of her veggie, she'd run and give Possible a high five. So he's a very powerful additional influencer in your household and in
It
the
doesn't take
educational
long
room.
either. And it doesn't take long either, because in that short time that Charlotte's been introduced to Possible and has learnt, you know, what positive things come from doing, you know, healthy eating and exercise and all those things, she now even associates it without him. So every time she eats something, she asks for a high five. So it just goes to show that it's embedded that within her neural pathways.
Yeah,
That's cool.
fantastic. It is cool. So yeah, look, we're really getting positive feedback about how straightforward the resources are to use, how it's easy to follow, but I'm going to show you the actual platform in a moment so that you can see it for yourself. But look, changing channels has been a very big influencer as well. That's a really key concept. Some services are just starting with that as a starting point because it's an easy concept. Everybody understands what a remote control is and what a TV is, and we introduce changing channels as a way of choosing or changing the feelings channel that you're on, and it's impactful for us as adults as much as it is for children as well. And the language is really supporting the educators as well. So we've got a lot of supportive psychologists and experts who have really helped us, have vetted our programs and are fully endorsing it as well. So the platform can support long daycare centres, preschools, family daycare, playgroups, family strengthening services, child or family psychology practices, outside of school hours care and early intervention services. And even we've had some recent inquiry from schools as community centres as well, SAC. So that's the breadth of application for the content. And so currently there are some funding opportunities available. So right now we have, and we're very grateful to the Western New South Wales Primary Health Network for partnering with us, and they're supporting early learning services in the Western New South Wales region. Any service that offers registered care to children 0 to 6, and they're offering 3 years access to the Positive Living Skills Early Childhood Wellbeing platform, and that's fully funded by the Western New South Wales Primary Health Network. So if you're in that region and you haven't registered your interest yet, please, we welcome you to do so. You can go to the website. There's a PHN funding tab when you visit the positivelivingskills.com.au website, and just follow the prompts. You just express your interest. We then confirm that you're in the catchment area. We send you another link. You click on that. You sign a memorandum of understanding, which just really confirms that you will implement the program, because obviously the Western New South Wales Primary Health Network is seeing this as a positive preventative tool in community. So if they're going to fund it, they want to make sure it's being used. It's certainly not a hurry thing though. It doesn't mean you have to get started tomorrow. If it's something that you think you can get to, say by the end of this year, you could register your interest now to be involved so that you don't miss out. But that funding is available. We're also on the New South Wales Education, I think I mentioned earlier, external programs wellbeing catalogue. So any public preschool in New South Wales can find us there. We can't see it because we're not on the inside of New South Wales Education. Excuse me for a second. Pardon me. But if you log into your portal, you should be able to find us there, and that's fully funded as well. So on top of that, some not-for-profit services have been funded for the PLS program through local community funding, grant funding. Others have found us and come forward to purchase the program through inclusion funding or professional development funding. There's also Kindy Uplift funding in Queensland. I just had a sip of my drink, excuse me. So there are a lot of opportunities for funding for the program. So if any of those fit you, then please look. And if you want to talk to us about how you might find funding in your area, excuse me, happy to chat to you about that as well. Okay, so getting started, you express your interest via the funding tab on the website, or if you're ready to buy, you can come to the landing page of the Early Childhood Program on our website. Excuse me.
Oh,
and purchase the platform. We do ask you to sign a license, which you can do digitally. There's one subscription per site location. So you sign up as a site-specific early learning service, and you sign a license on that behalf. You give us a generic email address, like your admin email address or your director email address, and that's everybody then in the service accesses the platform via that login. It's quite easy. You just follow the prompts and the forms on the website. We then send you a welcome pack like you saw just then, and you then get started with the resources. Hayley then reaches out to you and makes contact and supports, and all your educators are welcome to come along to these info sessions. We're running these about every 6 weeks, and then we just ask you to fill out a quick survey from time to time, giving you some feedback on how you're enjoying the program and what you're finding valuable.
Just that I'd mention as well, Jo, if you are a service that has signed up, I definitely will be in contact with you. It's normally around about a month after you've signed up to the program, but that doesn't mean that you can't contact me first. You definitely can. You can do that via email or phone number. You might even choose to do it through the chat on the Positive Living Skills program. So there's plenty of options if you want to get in touch with me sooner. I'm more than happy for you to do that. Yeah, and alternatively, I'll be calling you around that 1 month mark.
Cool. Okay, now I'm just going to share this other screen now. Just setting that up. Thanks, Hales. Now let me just find that. Oh, there you are. Now I can see you all. I can see you all. There we go. Thanks for showing your faces. Okay, hopefully this now. I go share there. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah.
The home page
Yeah.
platform? Oh, great. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a quick tour now. And how are we going for time? We haven't got much time, but what I'll do is try and do this quite quickly. So this is where you land. So when you come into the platform, this is where you get started. We've got a bit of a step-by-step approach. So where we suggest you get started, so these are some quick tabs here that you can go to. We do suggest that you start with the orientation. So the orientation page takes you through everything you need to know, who we are, what we're about, the sort of stuff we've talked about tonight, introduces you to the 6 concepts. So you can click on each one of these and it takes you to a dedicated page about that concept. These are the 6 core concepts of the program. Then you familiarise yourself with Possible. You can play a little hello from him. Comes down, unpacks your welcome pack, talks about happy highlight clickers, the flashcards, etc. Points you to some of the key features of the platform here. You can play a little welcome from Hayley, and then there's a bunch of video tutorials if you click on here as well, showing you through all the key parts of the platform. But this is the best place to start. You can do this as a team if you'd like to, pull your team together, or you might send your educators to the page to get started. And what we do suggest is you just get started with the introduction lesson. Or look, there's a lot of ways you could get started. You could just get started with the media library. You could just get started with Possible and start to get to know him. there's a lot of ways you can get started. So there's no right or wrong with this program.
And it really
and that's-
depends on your service or your the provider that's implementing it. There's different ways to do it for all different services out there. And if you are not sure on how you want to get started, then you can be in touch with me and we can discuss that as well. But it is extremely straightforward, and you'll notice once you go through this what approach you'd like to take.
Thanks, Hales. So there's a whole possible section, how you use the puppet, how you introduce him. We're going to add a little bit more to this as well. Then I'm going to jump over to the learning experiences. So to get started, you might start with the introductory learning experience. That introduces possible, the 6 core concepts, to the children, and takes you through. And this is the format for each of the learning experiences. So every learning experience, and there's 49 in total of these, has an educator notes section, and then it jumps you. Once you're familiar with that, you can then start jumping straight to the beginning of the learning experience. But the educator notes gives you an overview of the learning experience itself, how it maps to the early years learning framework. And this particular one's the intro one, so it gets straight into the learning experience, introduces the concepts, introduces possible, and so on. But I'll take you to another learning experience. I'm going to go to the learning experiences here. So as mentioned, they're held in 6 different concepts. So these are the 6 concepts, and you can see each of the names of the learning experiences here. If I want to toggle on here, it gives me more detail on each of them, and I can, as I'm getting to know them or looking for a certain learning experience I might want to do in a group time situation, I can peruse these and pick one. So I'm just going to pick changing channels for argument's sake for this one to show you. And here's the changing channels learning experience. So it just gives you an intro to the actual concept. Here's the educator note section for this one, which gives you an overview about Possible's adventure. Shows you what actually is included within the content to support this learning experience. Then you can prep for this if you want to and do this option. Then the learning goals for the learning experience, the aims and outcomes. We've just put in success criteria and I can statements. We work with the curriculum expert on this one. The early years learning framework outcomes. We are very shortly going to update these to the new version 2 of the EYLF. So we're just started to work on that now. And then you get to the learning experience, but you can jump to the learning experience at any time, the start of it. And then really it's prompting you in terms of what you might want to say. You don't have to follow the exact prompts. You can do it any which way you want. This one refers to the feelings poster. And then you get started with the actual learning experience. There's an animation, so there's a few possible animations in this one, in the program, and there's an animation for this one. Then there's every learning experience has a reflection, and then there's this is the whole reflection section for this one, and it's just reflecting on how the children might feel in those situations, gives you prompting questions, and then it offers you extension ideas as well. So there's plenty to offer in every one of the learning experiences, and there's 48 of them plus the intro learning experience. So now, and they're just, so you could see here all the feelings ones are here, but then I just jump back to learning experience tab if I want to find one of the other ones. So then so there's the PLS concepts we talked about before. You can get to them either via the orientation or from here. So each one of these, if I just pick the feelings one, because that's what we were looking at. This just gives you another little video about feelings, our feelings concept, and a bit more, excuse me, a bit more background, informed research. And this all is extra information that's not necessary for you to get started. Learning stories, I want to tell you about that. So
just quickly, sorry, Jo,
yeah.
with those, with the learning experiences, they do not need to be delivered from highlights through to self-esteem. They can be delivered in any which order you choose as well. So you'll find that you can even go from a feelings lesson to a cooperation lesson if that's where the children take you with the lesson and the activity and the, what you're doing next with it as well. So there's no need to go in a linear, but you actually definitely can go linear if that's how you choose to run the program as well.
Yeah, great point, Ali. So now I'm just in the learning story function. So this is where I've just gone in and because I might have just implemented that changing channel concept, learning experiences within the feelings unit, and it pre-populates some of the introduction and the activity information, although I can edit that. And then I might go, well, this is the experience I had with Alice around this particular concept. And from here, we are going to do some more of that. I can actually upload potentially the logo of the service to that form. Then I can possibly upload some images if I want to. I'm just going to put these ones here. And that creates, I can then download this as a document. So, and you can see the EYLF outcomes are there. So that then creates a document with my logo on it and these photos on it, which I can then download, print, share via email, excuse me, with the families at my service. And that's just a function that we're getting some really positive feedback on. So it's a great supporting feature of the platform.
A lot of feedback saying that educators are loving that they can upload them to platforms as well. So say if you're using Storypark or any type of platform like that, they're loving it, saving them time by uploading this and not having to do all that extra work once they're in the platform.
Absolutely. Then we've got the activities guide. So you might have a particular goal that you're wanting to achieve with the children. You can actually choose a goal here. Let's say I'll just choose this one. It brings up all the relevant learning experiences and what concept they relate to that would support that goal. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to spray some stuff down.
Oh, poor Jo,
With
you
the
okay?
activities guide as well, you can also print this off as a PDF. So this has been really popular with services that they put them up in their room because they might not want to plan an activity but decide, you know what, it's been a crazy day, we need to bring the energy down and do some relaxation. So that's where you can have these up in your room or even up on your laptop or wherever you might have it. And then you can see what activities are available in what concepts, and then you can go straight to them in the program or even in the media library to go straight to a specific activity. That's
right. And you can download that version I just showed you and laminate it, put it on the wall as well. So we've also got families are such an important part of the Positive Living Skills Initiative. We've got family newsletters for each of the concepts. That brings the concept down into like a 2-pager that you can print, email, share. I can put that into full screen. And it just gives the family some at-home tips about how to get involved with that concept at home. So that's another part of the platform. And then for families, we also have the Positive Living Skills Family Link. So that's an important free resource that families can join up to via our website, and they get a taster of the platform resources that they can play along with at home. So it's free to join, and families are welcome to join it. We've got references, we've got an EYLF guide, we've got a National Quality Framework guide, we've got a VELDF guide for those services in Victoria as well. So there's lots of resources there. We've had a look at learning experiences. I just want to quickly show you the Storytime library. So we've been adding some new stories to this. So this is an additional library. So on top of the 49 learning experiences, you've got some Storytime stories that that really are mapped to the learning experiences and the concepts. So you can open one of those up. It can go full screen, and then you can flip through and show that to the children, have a conversation. This is about when Theo gets frustrated. And then there's some reflection questions at the end. And so there's, I don't know, about 10 of those stories, and we're looking to add more as we progress. So that's a nice little addition as something extra. You could just start, if you wanted to look at somewhere to start, you could just start with Storytime if you wanted to.
For all ages as well, yeah.
And then we've got the transition section of the platform that shows school readiness tips, all organised under the 6 concept headings as well. And gives you lots of tips. And there's also tips for transitions from rooms, like the toddler's room to the preschool room, for example. There's a whole section on the younger children as well, organised in concept headings again, just giving you ideas and tips and linking to tracks like audio tracks, etc., and different resources that you can find in the platform. Then there's a whole media library. So everything that you can see that's linked to the learning experiences you can find here. So we've got songs on all the concepts, the videos, resource downloads, animation, posters, relaxation audios. There's a lot of relaxation audios in here that are fantastic for when you want to calm the room or refocus. And you can search those through this media library and find things quickly that you'd like to find through this menu down here.
And that's another way to start as well, if if they want to just get started without looking at it as an overall, just go into the media library and just put on one of these 5-minute relaxations, and just as you familiarise yourself, because the kids really love them.
Yeah, and then there's the community forum, which will, house posts, updates or new information. We've got a members store there for when you want to buy some more, if you want to buy some more puppets, etc. And the professional development. So that links you to create your own professional development account where you can complete one or more of those 90-minute self-paced online on-demand sessions. And there's workbooks attached to those which you can submit to us if you'd like us to acknowledge your completion of those. So I'm just going to go back to there's a lot more to show you but in the time we have. Let me just go back up here and stop sharing that. And now I'll go back over here and I'll start sharing that again. And hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go. So now it's about time. And just before we get to Q&A, I'll just, for anybody who needs to, because we're almost at our 45-minute mark, if you do need to run, just to finish this information off, if you're part of the Western New South Wales region, you can go to the funding tab. If you would like to move forward with the program and it's a purchase situation, you go to the early childhood page on our website, follow the prompts, you choose your number of users, and that's a pricing band, and you can get started that way. But we'd love to hear your questions now and answer those. And you're welcome to come off mute and ask the question live, or you can pop it in the chat. It's up to you, but I'll stop sharing my screen now. And
Megan was asking about NESA accredited.
No,
Hi,
not
Megan.
anymore. Yeah.
No, we were our 3 PDs were NESA accredited. They did have a big shake-up a year or so ago, and a lot of the sessions like ours were sort of cut from the NESA endorsement. So we can give you a certificate to say you've completed 90 minutes of professional development for positive living skills. So we can do that, but it's not going to be specifically NESA endorsed in that way.
No worries, thank you.
I've also had a question sent directly to me asking if it's fully funded. So it depends on where you're from, Jo. Did you want to elaborate?
Yeah, so fully funded for services, any early learning service in Western New South Wales, and that's funding from the Western New South Wales Primary Health Network. Services in Queensland are using some Kindy Uplift. Preschools in New South Wales can fund the program through the New South Wales Education Quality Panel. Other than that, if you're in an area where you might be able to source funding or you've got your budget, as I said, because we have a professional development component, sometimes it can fit into that. It certainly supports inclusion. So if you have funding that's relevant to that, but hopefully that answers some of the funding questions. So much available. What a brilliant platform. Thanks, Nick. Cheers. And what other questions do we have? who would like to ask a question? I know we've covered a lot of ground tonight, but we'd love to hear from you or answer anything that we can to support you. Thank you, Ainsley. Yeah, Ainsley will be in touch soon, Hayley. And yeah, so any questions, please? We're standing by, ready to.
Anything about getting started? So is there any?
No, I was just going to say thank you for tonight, but I think now my next point before I implement it at our centre is just have a quick look at the tiles and become familiar, and then I'll pass it on to the educators and go from there. But yeah, there's a lot of ways you could introduce it, and starting with those stories is great. It looks like you've got a lot. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Megan.
Megan.
We're happy you're on board, and this recording will be available. So if this is a support, there's also a tour video, which is just like 15 minutes of a walkthrough of the platform itself without all of our other bits and pieces.
So I was going to ask to show the other staff members at work, can we get a copy of those slides? Just it's a nice overview just to introduce it ourselves.
Yeah, by all means, by all means. Well, there'll be the copy of this actual recording, but yeah, we can definitely send you a copy of the slides.
Okay, so do you want me to just send it to anybody's email, and I'll give you my email?
Well, Megan, we should have your name and your email registered on our little spreadsheet.
What centre you're from?
We have got. Where are you from, Megan?
Papilio Pitt Town. So
great.
Pitt Town, okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll send we can send the slides. If anybody else would like the slides, we can do that as well. And yeah, in the tutorials section of the platform. So you'll have, if you've got access to the platform now, you can go to that. So go to the orientation page, go to the tutorials, and there's a 15-minute demo video, like a tour video that just shows you through the platform as well. So that's a great starting point also for your team.
I mean, there is a lot in there, but the one thing we do not want it to be an overwhelm. This is we've gone to this degree because we really want to support educators, and we get it and we see you, and we really want to do that. So starting at story time, going and grabbing an audio, that's absolutely fine to familiarize yourself. We do not want anyone to feel any additional pressure with everything that you've all got on your plates at the moment. So but it is there. Just treat it like a resource pool of lots of things in there that's going to benefit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Robin. Robin said thanks, Joe, Kath and Hayley. This looks awesome. Yeah, that's great. Look, any other questions? Do we have any questions? Do you have any comments? Would you like to share anything? How do you feel that this could, if you haven't joined us yet, if we've got anybody on, how do you think this could support your service? And, we definitely are hearing a lot of positive things, definitely about possible, about changing channels, about story times and all sorts of things. But if you, if there's anything that you wanted to share or ask from our experience with other educators or services, thanks, Aparna. Otherwise we will start to wrap it up. If you don't have any other questions, but if there's anything else, otherwise we very, very much thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. We will send you a recording of this session, and to anybody who would like to see the slides, we can PDF those and flick those to you as well. If there's anything that you think of later that you didn't ask or you want to find out about, or please send us an email, because we'd be happy to share any information. And we just look forward to, we've welcomed a lot of new services to the initiative recently, so we're really looking forward to working with you all. And as I say, we'll run more of these sessions, so these are a great way to orientate your team to the platform as well. So the more the merrier. We've got capacity here to fit quite a lot of people in. So any other chats that we need to?
Don't think so. I think that might
Hayley's
be it.
onto it. She's been well and truly onto it, which is fantastic. Well, thanks so much, everybody. Thanks again, and we really appreciate you being part of the initiative. And have a good evening. Enjoy a little bit of rest before you get back into it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Felicity. We're getting a hand clap
Take
down
care.
there. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.